when it comes to writing characters, I personally find a lot of difficulty in properly articulating who that character is, as in I have a very distinctive view as to who they are in my mind, yet I just can't seem to put it on paper. Like I can pitch the character, but I can't pitch the character, but I can pitch the story they're in. Do you have like a method or a way to articulate or describe who a character is?
I generally, I say this all the time. I believe stories tell you how to write them. So describing a character for a comic artist, describing a character for a script, and describing a character in a prose story are all three very different undertakings. One of them is instructional, one of them is sort of informational, and then one of them is like raw character narration, linguistic, what words you choose. So which one do you want to know about? Comic, script, or novel?
Script.
Good, because that's the only one I'm good at. So, so generally, if the hardest thing, one of the funniest things is the hardest thing I've found to do in a script and to make it flow smoothly is introducing like 3 or more characters at once. Because I find it becomes on the page very blocky as you try to sort of summarize everyone. So if I introduce more than one character at a time, I will usually describe, I'll say there's 3 people, and then I will allow their dialogue to cut up and displace their descriptions. So it'll be, I'll describe like one guy, but then when you come to descriptions, and in terms of allowing a character to breathe on the page, it's more about what type of story you want to tell, because the author in a script is, in an unspoken way, a character. The person writing between the lines and the action, the way we describe things, the words we choose, that informs the reader on how they should maybe feel about things. So you should never be afraid as a screenwriter to use characteristic adjectives in a specific way. If this guy like scratches his neck, but you want it to feel like this guy's a sleaze bag, you could say, if I just scratch my neck like this, look, I scratch my neck. But if I said, anxious, staring off into the distance, awaiting something that will never come, he scratches his neck. You get a look on his face, you get his whole thing. You know, you sort of sell their reactions, is I think what I'm trying to say. Cut this down, but I think what I'm trying to say is the easiest way to articulate a character is by allowing them to exist reflexively in the moment. The words they choose to react to things, the words you choose to describe their reactions, guide the audience in understanding who they are. When a fictional character speaks, they are never actually communicating to any of the other characters. Why? Because those people don't exist. They are always communicating to the audience. They are allowing you insight into their process. That's why in movies, so often in movies, have you noticed bad dialogue where a character will say like exactly what they need to say in this clunky way, and you're like, God, that's so stupid, that feels so fake. Well, that's because it's an author, you're feeling the author, right? You're feeling that character isn't real, that's a person saying bad dialogue. So much of dialogue comes in being true to the tone of the character that you're writing, because it has to be reflexive. So what they say, even in the way they react to something shocking, can be used to inform you about them. I'm giving you like 50 different pieces of advice. So the best way to describe how to make a character, I haven't done a Glass Planet in a week, so I had a lot of pent up bang energy. So the best way to make a character live and breathe on a page is by guiding, in a strictly pragmatic way, is by guiding the reader with a few choice adjectives and about 2 sentences, just about them, just 2 sentences. This is who this person is. They're maybe like this. If you want to make them more interesting, include a contradiction in the 2 sentences. If you can include a contradiction, like this person is shy but aggressive, people will read their dialogue more closely, because they're interested to see the promise you made in the description of the character, right? Shy but aggressive, how does that play out? And the next time they look at that character's dialogue, they'll go, oh, that's the shy, aggressive person. So now they're reading that dialogue and it's loaded, right? Now there's a performance on the page. because you set up an expectation. So now their brain camera and their head movie with their imaginary actors has a shy but aggressive person. Now you have dialogue. It's an opportunity to puppet that thing inside their head and lock it in. So you have to choose the word. Again, you choose how characters react to things. You set up an expectation, and then you allow them to surprise the audience. Like a very simple thing of my Clark Kent, a character you appreciate, so I'll use him, is his reactions to things are almost always the actual reactions someone would have if they were in a state of complete calm and then something totally crazy happened. Because Clark, most times, because he's invulnerable, feels okay. And so he never really gets too nervous that he's going to get hurt unless someone, but then when someone attacks him or there's a big monster or something, he never reacts to it like Superman. He always goes, oh, fuck, because maybe this is the thing. Maybe this is the thing that can hurt him. He's been hurt before. Maybe it's back. So that creates a tension with Clark in most of the videos I do with him, where it's a version of Superman who gets afraid of things and gets confused and gets spun out. And that to me helps to make him sort of a more interesting protagonist than your basic version of Superman. And that's the contradiction I'm talking about. Again, this is like a 5-minute answer to a 1-sentence question. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, man. It's great. On the topic of Superman,